My biggest mistakes when I first started my YouTube channel. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, as many of you know, I started my channel a while back. I started my channel in 2011, and I started it because I wanted my children to have mommy's wisdom throughout life. And I thought, well, what better place could I put it than up on a YouTube channel? And so that began my journey. In the very beginning, I didn't even title some of my videos. They weren't being designed for the public. They were really designed for my family. And it was just such an easy way for them to see me, whether it was my children or other family members or friends. So that was really the reason I started my YouTube channel years ago. Then came about 2020. And in 2020, I came what I call public. Although my videos had been public, they weren't geared for the public. I wasn't making them for the public. So, I didn't tag them, I didn't title them, I didn't do thumbnails. They were just really there so that my family could see them. And I was putting content up so that, if they wanted to look back on them years later, they could, without having to sift through the VHS tapes or through the DVDs or through my notes or whatever. And so that was how I started. And I've learned a lot throughout the years. So in 2020, when I came public, I had no real idea what I was doing. And sometimes I still don't have a real idea what I'm doing. And yet, I get on here most days and I make content. So I'm going to go over my list of things that I have done that probably were some of my biggest mistakes. I think number one, had I had it to do over again, I would never have used my real name. I might have used my first name, but not my whole name. Because once you're out there publicly, your name is out there. And people can easily find where you live and things like that. And I've had a few situations along my last 4 years or 5 years almost of doing YouTube videos that made me think, probably had I had it to do over again, I would not have put my real name out there. I would have just used a handle like Ultimate Golden Girl. And of course, my channel is now Ultimate Golden Girl Diana Brienne Fairchild. So like I said, that was probably my number one mistake, was using my own name, okay? But once it's out there, it's out there. You really can't take it back. If you do, it's still out there, okay? So my number two was, was to spend more time on quality rather than quantity. I thought putting more and more and more content out there will get you more and more views, more and more subscribers. Well, I think I was wrong to some degree. I believe that quality reigns over quantity in the bigger picture. Now, that's not to say that some of my quantity videos did not do well. Actually, a couple of my quantity videos actually got the most views. And they didn't have thumbnails to them, ones that I made, custom thumbnails. They didn't have that. And even the title wasn't that great. And yet, what I have found is that titles are very, very important. That's what draws people in. And thumbnails, well, that catches a person's attention. I'm still not great at the thumbnails. I know how to make them. I just usually don't take the time out to make them. But there again, that goes back to quality versus quantity. And I'm working on that. Then I would say, one of the things I did not realize when I first started out was that once you put one video up with you on it and your name, you become a public figure in a sense. That anyone in the world has now access to you, at least to your videos. And so in that sense, you do become a public figure, okay? Another mistake that I made, and that really wasn't a mistake, becoming a public figure, it's just that I didn't understand that all of a sudden you're no longer, when you share a video, it's no longer private, it's public, unless you make it private or unlisted or something like that. And I would say another mistake that I made early on, caught myself and stopped, was don't try to grow your channel artificially. Now, I know a lot of people do that. They really do. And for some people, it works as far as getting all the numbers, getting the number of subscribers that they want. And yet, for me, growing my channel artificially worked against me. What I basically did is I went to live streams when they were very, very popular at the time. And you drop your link and people come to your channel and they don't even watch a video usually. They just, subscribe, or they'll watch 3 seconds of the video, not enough to, really watch it. But what I found is it messed up my algorithms. And so a video that was really great, that probably YouTube would have pushed out, no longer pushed it out because people were coming to that video, watching it for a few seconds, and then moving back to the next person to connect with. And so once I realized that, I immediately stopped that. And I know there's a lot of channels out there, what they call growth channels. I may go to them to visit them and say hi, but I don't go to them to grow. Because the last thing I want is are people coming to my channel and only watching a few seconds of a video, then leaving. I want people to actually watch my content in full, or at least, pretty much, so that the algorithms pick up on that. Because I think that really, really messed me up, slowed my actual authentic growth down. And had I just left it be, made the content, put it out there, it would have grown naturally on its own, as it is now. Because all of my subscribers that come to me now and have for a long time have been because of my content. One of the things when I was doing live streaming that I learned was if you're going to bring people up on what they call your panel, make sure you know for sure who they are before you bring them up. I was doing a live stream one night, and this person kept, pushing, like coming into the bottom part of it and wanting to be a part of the live stream. So finally what I did is I said, okay, I'll let them up. Well, when they came up, immediately they didn't show their face, but they exposed themselves. That ruined an entire live stream. I had to stop the live stream and take it down. Okay, and it was quite a long live stream. And I couldn't put it back up because, well, this person had done what they did. I had no idea who they were. I also noticed that sometimes people would come in as someone else's name with their picture, and it wasn't them. So what I learned is not everyone on YouTube is trustworthy, although many are, and not everybody is who they say they are. So I learned that early on the hard way. And I would say another big mistake that I made was I talked politics for a very short time. I am a wisdom channel, a motivation channel. I don't give advice. I don't give suggestions, although people will ask me for advice. And there again, I say I don't give advice. I don't give suggestions. I just give you my viewpoint on different topics. So for me, I don't give advice and I don't talk politics, because once I talked politics, even though it was for a short time, I believe it messed up my algorithm and slowed my growth. And also, you lose people if you take sides. Even when you're not being biased to one side or the other, often people will think that you're biased. And often you can't please anybody at that point and you lose people. And so I did learn that. I don't talk politics. There's enough political channels out there, enough religious channels out there that I don't talk politics or religion. For those channels that make their channel is about politics or religion, that works well for them. It didn't work well for me. Don't compare your channel to anyone else's. Don't compare your number of subscribers, whether you have more or whether you have less. Stay focused on your own channel and what your channel is about. Don't try to make content just because you think someone else will like that content. Make content because it interests you. It's a subject you know something about, that you enjoy, and that you want to share. Often I see people put up content that they really don't want to put it up, but they're putting it up to try to get subscribers. And, you know, a lot of these channels, I call them bashing channels, where they bash each other. They go back and forth and saying bad things about each other, so that when they do that, they're pulling in all these other people to you know, they're pulling in these people. And it's not a good way to grow your channel, because that's how you get a lot of trolls, okay? And I've had my share of trolls, and it's a lot of people just simply give up on their YouTube channel because they feel that they don't know how to deal with the trolls. For me, I just block them so that they can't comment, or at least delete their comments. And often they'll go away when they realize that they can no longer comment. Okay, and let's see, I've got my notes here, but I kind of scribbled my notes there, and let's go over here and see. Okay, well, I can't read my writing. I just believe that if you're going to be on here on YouTube, you want to enjoy your YouTube journey. I have made so many amazing friends. Most I will never meet in person, but they're my virtual friends, and they're wonderful, amazing friends. YouTube is a wonderful place to gain information, you know, but we have to also sift through that information to make sure that it's applicable for our own lives and that it's correct information. So, you know, if I watch a how-to video, a how-to tutorial, I usually watch a couple before I start to copy any of them, to make sure that I'm getting right information and that there's not something that I'm missing. I have loved being up here on YouTube. It has been such a pleasure, such a gift, so wonderful to be able to connect with people that, you know, I would have never met otherwise. It's been wonderful to connect with people that I haven't seen for years, that I know personally. It's wonderful just to have a running dialogue of what I thought at the time. My channel is primarily about wisdom, motivation, and inspiration. It also is a lifestyle channel. I show a little bit of my life now and then. And it's also, I get out there and dance, which is a motivational part of my videos. And so what I realize is that YouTube done right and done your way, and you go according to YouTube rules, you're gonna grow naturally. And you may not reach 1 million subscribers, or you may not reach them for a long time. And that was one of the things that I learned, is that it's a journey, not a destination. If you get focused on the subscribers and focused on the views, you're going to lose the real reason you're there, to enjoy. And so I really feel that that I'm not rushing my YouTube journey. I realize that YouTube growing for most people is a lot harder than they anticipated. a lot of people think that they're just going to grow suddenly and immediately. But for the most part, I don't think that happens for most people. It's more of an uphill journey. And it's a wonderful one. And yet, it takes time to grow your channel. And so, if you're making great content, regardless of how your channel grows or how much it grows, you're going to have something wonderful to look back on. Okay? So take your time. Don't rush the journey. Don't get caught up into how many subscribers I have compared to how many subscribers someone else has. I believe in growing your channel the right way, not in a way that's going to mess up your algorithms like I did in the very, very beginning. I do have 5 channels: Grandma's Porch with Diana Brienne Fairchild, the ultimate Golden Girl, Diana Brienne Fairchild. Oh no, I think that one's just Ultimate Golden Girl, Diana Brienne. No, Ultimate Golden Girl. Then I have Ultimate Golden Girl, Diana Brienne Fairchild, which is my main channel. I have What Would Mom Say, Diana Brienne Fairchild, and Grandma's Porch with Diana Brienne Fairchild. I don't put a lot of focus on those channels. Those are sort of my backup channels. And this one, Ultimate Golden Girl, Diana Brienne Fairchild, is my main channel. So if you're not connected to my main channel, I hope you do. And so I thought I would just come on here and share a few of those ideas with you, or my thoughts with you. The other thing is, invest in a good camera. An iPhone can be a great camera. I mean, some of the iPhones or cell phones work even better than some cameras. And when I started off, I had this little tiny camera. It wasn't an iPhone. I don't know what it was. It was a little tiny phone, and I used it, and it worked. But really, having a good quality camera or a phone to use, I think, makes a big difference. And remember, you don't have to share your whole life. You can share whatever you choose to share. But remember, once it's out there, it's out there. You really can't take it back, even if you take the video down. Okay, so be mindful about what kind of content you make and what kind of content you put up, because it's going to probably follow you wherever you go, and you want it to be a good thing. Okay? Well, thank you for listening. I do hope you connect with my channels. May God bless you, and I hope to talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye.